Hello beautiful people, I'm so glad you clicked this video. On my channel I talk about all things mental health and nutrition. I give tips on things I've done and continue to do to improve my overall health and well-being. My goal is to inspire you to be more intentional about your health. I hope this blesses you on your journey to having a health conscience. Well, good morning beautiful people. So today's topic is all about self-care, which I'm sure you saw from this title. I was having a conversation yesterday with a coworker, and we were talking about the difference in how things happen today versus how they happened, say, 30 years ago. And we were discussing all of the different crimes and all the racial issues that you see throughout the world, and people getting shot for no apparent reason. And I mean, it turned into a full hour conversation. Let me just say, I have something in the trunk, so if y'all hear rattling, it's a planter that I'm bringing to work, so that's why it's making that noise. I'm sorry if y'all hear that. But anyway, we got into this conversation, and they asked me my perspective on the mental health crisis that we see now. And so that's how we started the conversation. So my thoughts are like this. For one, I do not watch news. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch local news. I don't watch the buzz. Like, I just don't watch news. And it's not that I'm not quote unquote woke or abrupt to what's going on around me. I have enough people in my family circle and friendship circle that will alert me if something is going on that I need to know about. But when I say I do not watch news, I mean, it is impossible to absorb the amount of mental stress on a daily basis from media, including social media, the negativity you see, the injustices you see, the things you see, frankly, that are just not of God. It is impossible for you to allow those things to come into your ears, to get into your mind, to sink into your spirit, and it not affect you negatively, mentally. So that's that. I say that to say, I don't allow the negativity in the news and the media stuff, and I don't allow that into me, because I don't want to be responsible for the way that I respond to it. And everyone handles everything differently, right? Everyone's not the same. They do things differently. For me, I try my best to be positive, to be encouraging, to be edifying, to be uplifting. That is just me. That is just my personality. That is just my being. That is just how I'm made. That's what I feel joy in doing. And watching the negativity, because most of what you see is going to be negativity that's promoted. It's not like you're going to see all of the positive things that's going on in the world. You're going to see a lot of the negative things. So much so that you'll see stuff that'll make you want to dislike people. You'll see things that'll make you want to treat people differently. I would rather have that childlike faith in believing that all things are going to work out, even though I know the things going on around me are bad. Because at the end of the day, I understand that we live in a fallen world. right? This world is not how God designed it initially. Let's just start with that. So there are innately things that are happening because of that fact. Again, my opinion. Agree or disagree. Completely up to you. That being the case, I am not surprised by anything anymore with the stuff that happens in this world. So what I try to do is pump nothing but positivity, love, encouragement into my spirit, into my mind, into my body, because I want to exude those same things. What you put in you will come out. So if you're watching things that are full of hatred and racism and negativity, then what comes out will be hatred and racism and negativity. I choose not to be that person because that is not who God called me to be. I am not perfect by any means. But for my own sanity, I have to do what's best for me. So I avoid the gossip, I avoid the negativity, I avoid the hate talk, I avoid all of the stuff that's going on in the world to the best of my ability. Now there are times where, like yesterday, I will have a conversation about something that's happening, and we'll have our debate going back and forth, and that'll be the end of that conversation. And then I will immediately, after that conversation, meditate on it, talk to the Lord about it, and then I ask him to release it from me. And I do that because I do not want to allow the things that I see to change the person that I am, in a sense that I treat people differently or disrespectfully because of what I see. And that's my opinion. So I think that because of all of this that we see, self-care is more important than it's ever been. What I mean by self-care, I mean that I need to love me before I can love anybody else. You know, for a very long time, I was a single mom with 4 kids, and all I knew how to do was put my kids first. My kids came first in everything because that was my life. They were my life. And as I grew up, as I matured, I recognized that there's nothing I can do for them if I'm broken. I don't want to teach them to be broken. I don't want to show them brokenness. I want to show them and exude wholeness and God's abundance and God's favor. Granted, I teach them that the world could be nasty and there are some ugly people in the world. Do not let anything take you by surprise. Always be prepared. Absolutely, I teach them that. However, you lead with love and kindness and the way God created you to be. So, self-care for me is recognizing that although I love my children with everything in me, although I love my husband with everything in me, I can't be anything for my husband if I'm not here for myself. So I have to show up for myself. What does showing up for yourself look like, Angela? Well, showing up for myself, for me, look like, what brings me joy? I need to do 3 things every single day that bring me joy. And that's just my preference. It can be 10 things. It can be 1 thing. However you want to do that. But for me, I need to do 3 things that bring me joy. I can give you a list of things that bring me joy. My dog, Sire. Love him. Just looking at him lights me up. To me, he's so cute and cuddly and he's so loyal. He doesn't even have to speak a word. And his loyalty is shown by his actions. Spending time with him brings me joy. My meditation. Every single day I have to meditate. Whether that's for 5 minutes or for an hour. What does meditation look like for you, Angela? Well, it can look like a lot of different things. But for me, it means as soon as I open my eyes in the morning, I don't get out of the bed until I thank the Lord for opening my eyes in the morning. I don't get out of the bed until I thank God for his grace and his mercy. So for me, what it looks like is having that initial conversation with the Lord. Just like when I close my eyes at night, that is what I'm doing. Thanking God for the day. Asking how God wants to use me the next day. Asking God to give me dreams, to show me visions of things that he has planned for me to do and to equip me for those things. That's my meditation. What else brings me joy? Simple things like soaking in the bathtub. That is like one of my favorite things to do. Running a tub full of hot water, bath salts, bubble bath, whatever. No lights on, completely dark. Worship music playing in the background. That's another thing. Listening to worship music. That brings me joy. Yoga. Oh my God. I wish I could do yoga every day. And granted, I can do yoga every day. I honestly have not been making the time to do yoga every day. But yoga relieves so much stress from me. And yoga for me is not about a religion or chanting. I don't do any of that stuff. Yoga for me is stretching. That's what I call yoga. I call yoga stretching. Pulling my muscles, moving my body, and centering myself. Allowing myself quiet, peaceful time to literally center myself. I'm meditating when I'm doing my yoga. I'm pondering on the things that God has placed in my heart. That is what I'm doing when I'm meditating. That is what I'm doing when I'm doing my yoga. Reading a book. Another thing I don't make time for as much as I want to. But that brings me joy. Those are little pieces of things that I do for self-care. Like, there has to be a time where us busy moms, us busy dads, us workaholics, us as studious folks, all of these things have to stop and say, when am I going to do something for me? When am I going to take care of me? And some can say this is selfish. Call it whatever you want to call it. Be selfish. Please be selfish. Because when you're not selfish about putting yourself first to take care of yourself, you break down. There's stress, there's anxiety, there's panic attacks. There's a lot of things that happen that could be prevented if only you had self-care in mind. So I wanted to hopefully give you guys some peace about putting yourself first sometimes. You know, there's a reason why, if you've ever flown in an airplane, they give you these safety instructions on if the plane is going down and the oxygen mask drop, put your oxygen mask on you before you put your oxygen mask on your kids. That's not to say that you care more about you than you care about your kids, but that's to say that I can't save my kid if I'm dead. If I'm not here, I can't do anything for them. So if you really do love your loved ones, your family, your spouse, your children, you have to take care of you. That's a priority. It's first priority. Because if you don't, you can't take care of them. So I really just wanted to have that conversation. I could talk about this all day. I'm going to be doing a part 2 of self-care, but I just wanted to get this started to kind of open it up to show you guys why it's urgent that we take care of ourselves, and to give you just a few tips of what you can do to start taking care of yourself better. Whether that's soaking in a tub, whether that's taking a walk, whether it's reading a book, whether it's doing yoga, whether it's meditating, whether it's listening to worship music, whether it's just dancing in your underwear. Whatever it is that makes you feel good, do you. And don't feel bad about it. Because you need to be okay to take care of everybody else. So I hope that blessed you. Please leave a comment in the comment box if y'all have any thoughts about this. I know there's a lot of different topics that I mentioned, but just the key point from this is don't feel guilty to take care of yourself, because that matters more than anything else. So if y'all found anything helpful in this video, make sure you subscribe, send it to someone who needs to be encouraged today, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.